Here we go with a brand new title. It used to be Fantasy Football, ? But no more. We are now Fantasy Football Viagra. And there's probably a lot of you now who maybe you were searching some things and you ended up with us today. You know what? Our demographic's probably around 65 plus at this point. That's okay. Stick around. You might like some things. If not, go do what you were going to do and then come right back.
That's right. If you're still having issues after 4 hours, please consult a physician.
Our podcast only goes an hour and a half, so
listen to it twice and then go see somebody.
All right, John, can you explain to the listeners / viewers what's going on with what's in my hand here?
Yeah, so if this is your first time with us, we are a fantasy football podcast. Really, we just want to have fun. So we make ridiculous bets where we have to do poetry slams and drink lots of alcohol or shots of red pepper. That doesn't even make sense, but we did it. And so in our fantasy football league that Charles and I are both in, it just so happened we're both pretty damn good at fantasy football. And we faced off against each other in the championship, and we decided, why not place a bigger bet on this individual game? And so the loser had to drink an entire 6-pack of Smirnoff Ice in one podcast setting, which reminds me, just in case you can't tell, spoiler alert, Charles lost big time. Not big time.
Was it?
It was close.
Yeah, it wasn't big time. I just feel like you should clarify that for the fans.
You lost by a minimal amount, about 6 Smirnoff Icefuls. So he is going to be drinking 6 raspberry with a P Smirnoff Ice during the course of this podcast. So feel free to go do what you got to do and come back and check in. And this is we're having a good time. And so for the people that tuned in live on YouTube, man, just enjoy this. We've already got a couple people in, which is pretty fun. And so as of right now, you have 9 minutes and 30 seconds to finish number 1 if we are going to keep pace.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get one in every 10 minutes in case I start cramping.
Usually our podcasts go about 45 minutes to an hour. That was a big drink. How was it? Explain that first drink. How was it, my friend?
You know, like when your like aunt gives you like a kiss and she gets some like leftover makeup or like like lipstick and you get in your mouth. Ever happened to you? No? Okay, anyways, it tastes like that. It just tastes like awful Jolly Rancher that was left out for days. That's what it tastes like.
Well,
so bad.
Dude, you better slow down. You going quick, and I appreciate that. Just
is that fast?
You're about a quarter of the way down, man.
I don't drink, so
that's the funniest thing about this is Charles is not a drinker, and so we will see what the malt liquor of Smirnoff Ice does to not only your brain power but also your stomach.
I use other things to get myself adjusted.
So, he is going to continue drinking as we talk, and if he gets belligerent, he gets a little angry when he drinks, and that's okay. The first one's always the hardest, man, so just understand that. At least that's what I've been told.
So let me explain, if you've never hung out with us before. Basically, we're kind of like this non-competitive podcast. We're just here to have fun. John and I have been doing this for years. John is really big in the fantasy football game. I'm definitely somebody who's very dedicated, but I'm not in it to win it. I'm just more a host.
That's why he is drinking, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why I'm drinking. But the thing is like we take some of the fun stuff we did in college and just bets and punishments and just stupid stuff, and that's kind of what it's about. We definitely cover tons of fantasy content. But we're all about just kind of being stupid.
Smirnoff Ice, brought to you by Raspberry. Smirnoff Ice.
And if I have a problem with it, it looks like it's bottled in Plainfield, Illinois, and that is not far from me.
Right up the street, man. So what we want to do right now is we are going to go through and break down some of the bets we made in the 2017 fantasy football year, just to kind of almost as like a in retrospect, looking back as a snapshot of what we thought. And we had 10 total bets. And just spoiler alert, I won 6, Charles won 4. and I lost almost all of the earlier ones. Now, this bet was made preseason, before the very first game was played. Charles went out. He's a Blake Bortles guy, if you know nothing about Charles. And he said that the Jags would finish second in their division, and we bet a bottle of scotch, and Charles took the Jags. I thought this was a gimme. Obviously, I lost. And, man, Jags not only won their division, they went all the way to the AFC Championship and were pretty damn close to making it to the Super Bowl.
Right. It wasn't like that they were out of that game. Jalen Ramsey was talking trash to Tom Brady before the game. I about lost my mind. But, Bortles is let me just put that in context. I'm not a Bortles guy like I think he's going to run the world. I'm a Bortles guy like I respect that defense so much that he's going to have the ability to make mistakes. There you go, John. Don't make me seem like I think Blake Bortles is a good quarterback, okay?
Now, the funny thing is, I started Blake Bortles in our championship to beat you.
Wow.
That
I didn't know. I forgot that, actually.
Yeah, that was sadness. But, yeah, man, hats off to the Jags. They surprised a lot of people. And, I mean, not only finished second in their division, but actually second in their conference by losing the AFC Championship. So, hats off to you. The next one, gosh, man, I feel like we could almost duplicate this bet for next year. This, again, you made this bet before the very first game of the season. You said Luck would not score as many points as Matt Ryan. End of the year fantasy totals, and sure enough, this is the most lopsided bet of all time. Andrew Luck decided not to play. I knew he listened to our podcast and watched our podcast, but who would have guessed he'd go that far out and decide to sit the whole season just so you could win some stakes?
My favorite Twitter account has got to be Captain Andrew Luck. Like, that is, whoever's doing that, man, like, props to you. That is just the best.
Truth. That is truth. How were those steaks, my friend?
Oh, they're actually very good. John was very generous. I don't know if you bought a package or a Groupon or what you did, but it had hot dogs in there. It had all kinds of stuff. So we've eaten everything but the hot dogs so far, and the steaks were fantastic. So,
yeah, it was Omaha Steaks. That's a legit company. They don't sponsor us. This is not a sponsor podcast. This is a fun podcast.
We only have one sponsor, and it's
Smirnoff Ice.
Smirnoff Ice.
And so for our 3 women listeners that we are probably related to, go pick up a bottle of Smirnoff. I will say this, but did you get the card? The card that came with the steaks. This is important to me.
I think I did, and it did have King of the North on there, I believe.
It did. It said King of the North, and I think it opened up a card and said fuck you or something along those lines.
It said,
That's about it. And now here we go. This is another preseason bet. We bet rookie wide receivers and who would score the most fantasy points over the course of the season. Again, this was made before week 1. You took Mike Williams, and I took the guy that I fell in love with last year, and that was Zay Jones. I feel like we both kind of lost.
Yeah, we did, but you won.
Zay Jones ended up putting up 66 fantasy points to Mike Williams' 18.
Wow.
Yeah, so I won that one. But Mike Williams will rear his ugly head again in our betting patterns.
By the way, make a note, I'm willing to take that bet again this year.
No way. There's no way in hell I'm doing this. And just so you know, you have 3 minutes left till you are supposed to be finished.
Jesus. Okay.
Oh, you got time. You got time. You're doing great.
No, it doesn't feel good. It already feels bad, dude. I'm serious. It already feels so terrible.
All right.
My stomach. I feel like...
So, if we move on from that, we took a bet of second-string tight ends. And this was a fun one. Again, before the season, you chose Dwayne Allen of the Patriots. It's so great looking back at this and laughing, right? Like Dwayne Allen, holy cow. He did terrible, did nothing fantasy relevant whatsoever. However, before season, I didn't feel great about this. I took Hunter Henry, and obviously I dominated that one. It wasn't even close. That was not a fair.
See, I just there was some stuff going on with Gronk at the time. I'm like, gosh, TB12. I kind of it was a bit of an edgy bet. I mean, Hunter Henry makes the most sense. I know that. But anyways, I lost.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. So after that, then we get into more quarterback stuff, and this is whenever it got really, really bad. Oh, sorry, I scrolled down too far. You took another bet. This was after the Chiefs were up. They won 3 games. You said that the Chiefs would not do better than 8-8. Oof.
Yeah, man. I just finished my first bottle.
So, do you have any water with you?
Should I?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man, because it's just going to increase the liquid in your stomach, but...
All right, man. Here's the thing. Smirnoff Ice. Let me describe what's going on in my stomach. It's like when you got home from Halloween as a kid and you just ate all that candy. That's what's going on in my stomach. It's not the alcohol.
That's right, man.
It's just the sugar, dude. It's so potent. Okay.
I tweeted out, so my son turned 10 last week, and he ate so much candy and cake and all this stuff that he got an upset stomach and started crying. And I felt so bad that he was, crying on his birthday. But at the same time, I realized the sugar, stomach upset is the equivalent of the adult, blackout drunk. It's the same thing.
Cool. All right.
What to do with that information?
Oh, I'm screwed. All right, keep going through our bets.
Okay, so I am going to restart. Have you opened up your next Smirnoff?
Yeah, I'm right. I'm here.
Are they twist-offs?
Don't restart. I'm yes, they're for women, so yes, they're twist-offs.
No, it's time to restart. That was 10 minutes.
Shut up, man. I'm trying to give myself time and space to breathe.
Okay, I'm going to give you about a 30-second break.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jeez.
So, next bet was the Chiefs going 8-8. You said that the Chiefs would go under 8-8. I took the over. You lost that bet. They ended up going 10-6. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that one. I believe in Alex Smith. I believe in Andy Reid, unlike Eagles fans.
Yeah.
Was that a low blow?
Well, no, it's fine. Here's the 2 things coming up. I don't believe in Alex Smith coming up this year. We can get to that in a little bit. And if you're an Eagles fan like myself, you have, first of all, had the greatest year of your life. But before that, you are used to disappointment, and you know that Andy Reid, every so often, one season out of 6, he just goes backwards. It's the most repetitive crap of all time. And so that's where all that came from. I thought that they were ready for that. I didn't know that Kareem Hunt was going to basically be the next beast mode. Anyways, you did. No, John did. John called that way back in the day. I don't know anybody who had Kareem Hunt as high on their draft boards as John Chapman.
I love that guy, man. Now, the funniest fantasy off-season news that I've come across so far was Kareem Hunt punches out person at Ohio Resort.
What?
Figure that out. What the hell is a resort doing in Ohio?
That was my first thing. Who vacations in Ohio?
They need to be punched. If you go to a resort in Ohio, I'm paying a professional athlete, to stand there and punch you.
God,
because that doesn't make any sense.
That's like taking somebody to go talk in a toilet. You can go outside.
I'm starting the timer. 10 minutes, go.
I had my first drink, man.
Okay, good. So you got some time. You're starting to sound kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's on the way, man. I'm so excited.
Okay.
All right. So after week 4, Mike Williams got injured again with his back. He started having problems. And Charles decided to double down and said that Mike Williams would play in 6 total games. And if he wins that, I had to refer to him as Father or King of the North. And he did that.
There you go.
He didn't have a catch in all of those games, but he did take a snap in exactly 6 games. So props there.
Awesome.
Let's see. I lose another one here. The Seahawks and Packers played against each other, and I was telling everybody to double down on this team just completely, especially for DFS, because There were so many injuries to the Seahawks defense. I really thought it was going to be a crazy shootout where they were just throwing touchdowns left and right. I was wrong. I said that both of them back-to-back would finish top 5, but they did not. They finished number 9. So I had to do 5 tablespoons of crushed red pepper. That did wonderful things to my backside for the next 48 hours after that.
Oh, I remember that. That was good. I remember you talked about that for a while. That hurt.
It hurt like for days through. Like you could feel the body part that they were going through. It was rough. But we do what we do.
That's surprising to me because your backside's just taken so much damage.
It has. Yeah, usually the guys don't like to look at my face. I've been told several times that my best side is the back of my head. Anyway,
Yikes.
Next one. Let's see here. The Giants versus the Chargers. And this was just a straight up point spread. They were given 3 points to the Giants, and I took the Giants. I lost big time on this one, and I had to do a poetry slam, which, man, maybe I should retweet that one because I think I did a good job.
You did, but it was definitely cringe. Like, it was cool as shit, but it was definitely, like, cringy for sure.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, I had a scarf on and fake glasses, and the light was dim.
You look like a soy boy for real.
I know. My wife actually told me that she digged the look, and I was like, shut up.
She would.
Like, don't say that, please. Okay. Your Blake Bortles love shines through again.
Yep.
And I just got a message from my Writers Association with Eat Sleep Fantasy. Shout out to the boys.
What's up?
And they said, just watched your boy slam down one of those gross-ass Smirnoff Ices. So, thanks for watching, guys, and props to Chuck.
Great. Good for me.
Do you want to know where your time is?
Oh, man, not really.
You got
Go
6.5 minutes. You got time. You're doing great.
This is actually 6.5 minutes, I thought.
That's
Anyways.
right. That's what she said. Oh, that face you make every time just hurts.
It's honestly just bad, dude. It's so awful.
But you're doing well, and it seems like you
I want it.
Yeah.
No, I'm competitive about this. I'm gonna make it happen. But
hashtag Jenna Jameson. Just take another one. Okay. Fantasy Viagra. I feel like that's our wheelhouse, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We're gonna get your stats up.
That's right. You took Blake Bortles in week 6 will outscore Alex Smith, and this was after Alex Smith was the QB1. He just came out red hot. And you had to do a one-act play of the Notebook, which was legit. You lost, obviously, because you bet on Blake Bortles. But, Oh, that was so bad.
That might be retweetable, too. That was pretty good.
We got to get these back out for the masses, man.
I have some cool thoughts, too, about future bets and punishments. It's going to be cool.
I like it. And we've got a couple already on the table that we've agreed on. And we're going to add another one at the end of this. So stay tuned. More punishment and humiliation served up to you.
Right after a commercial from Smirnoff Ice.
Jeez. I hate the color of the drink, which if you're not watching this, is just awful. It's like not red.
Honestly, we don't really curse on this show that much, but fuck you to whoever designed this flavor and they thought it was good. It's so horrible. It's so bad. Whoever was like, it's really testing well with the population. No, it's not. It's so awful.
So that's the thing. Like, who passed this? Like, who took that drink and was like, oh, yeah, there's going to be so many fill in the blank that will drink this. Who the hell's drinking this stuff?
I don't know. It's just really, it's making me mad. Every drink I take, I just get angry at the Smirnoff executives. I wish they had to do this.
They would quit.
Mm-hmm.
You still have 4 minutes.
That's about 4 minutes. All right, next bet.
Next bet. Sammy Watkins. that he would get over 4 catches. So if he got 5 or more catches, Chuck would win. If he got less than that, Chuck loses and would have to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game with 10 sour warheads in your mouth." Do you remember that one?
That's the best one. In my opinion, like I'm not just, patting myself on the back. That is the best one for sure. That's retweetable.
Maybe your best singing performance of all time.
Probably. There's a lot of church chapel performances to compare that to, so when I used to go to church.
What about your wedding?
Oh, man. Shut up.
Real quick, and this was not planned by Charles, but it is by me. Another bet that Charles lost that we will get to is sharing an embarrassing moment, which he was going to share. He had something in mind. He's got a lot.
Yeah.
I want you to share the scene at your wedding, my friend.
First of all, let's not just do that. First of all, John Chapman, I had my brother be my best man. And
good choice.
Good choice, by the way, because John Chapman was probably next in line. And he was a bad just groomsman all the way.
I was.
First of all, he, in my vows, he put like in the middle of it a derogatory word that is no longer, you get in trouble for saying this kind of stuff now.
Well, you wrote custom vows and you said you were too nervous. Would you hold on to these for me?
Yeah. Dumb.
So which I said, dude, whatever you need. So we took him, rewrote his custom vows, exact same, except in the very middle, added a line about homosexual nature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the best part was we got the priest that married you guys, the pastor, in on it. And he was cool with it.
Yeah, so that happens. And then so I plan to sing a song for my wife. And it'll be an emotional moment, a little bit too emotional to where I did cry at my own wedding while I was singing. Actually, it was a little bit deeper than that. My dad was in his Class A's and he was being deployed to Iraq about a month later. So there was a lot going on at the time. But yeah, no, totally did. Yeah,
it was, thanks. And I say this to everybody that's ever asked. Still the best wedding I've ever been to, man. So hats off to the bars. You guys totally killed it. It was hilarious, fun, and awesome all at the same time. Yeah. So anyway,
a lot of people have the same thing to say, although it's just they said it's the craziest night that they ever had. So
that is true. Religious people open bar. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
You have 1 minute.
All right, hold on. Keep going.
Don't hurt yourself. You got a minute, dude. You good. Calm down. Oh, that face. All right, let's see here. The next one we have, gosh, man, you are bad at picking playoff teams. Week 8, you said that the Rams were going to miss the playoffs.
Why did I do that?
Yeah, they totally almost got a first-round bye. They played awesome. They were the number 3 seed, won their division. Yeah, you bet against, so technically, I don't know if you did bad. You bet against the Rams and the Chiefs making the playoffs, but you totally nailed the Jags. You got that one, yeah, spot on, man. So you lost that one. And then the last one, and this is the one you are paying up right now, is when you and I played against each other in the fantasy championship. And I won, which I started off 0-3, and I remember your dad making fun of me in that league because I was 0-3. Oh, did you hear that?
Oh, thank you.
Time to finish, brother. Don't shoot it because you'll die. But you are past time. How you feeling, brother?
Just like I jacked off a troll.
Does that mean that you get to pass?
I don't know.
Nice, brother.
Oh my God, dude.
Hey, dude, just know you are a third of the way done.
Cool. I gotta get, man, just tell him the next bet. I gotta get one out of the fridge.
All right, so those are the 10 bets that we took, the kind of big ones that we took with punishments from last year's fantasy football season. We already have one on the docks for next year in 2018. Charles got super excited when the Patriots signed Jordan Matthews, which I actually really like Jordan Matthews for fantasy this year. I just think not as much as a lot of people. Charles decided to go on and say that he would finish as the number 14 wide receiver or better.
14. Yeah, I did. Yeah. So what?
I'm going to ask you a question, Charles. So first off, let me just tell you the terms of this bet.
Okay.
I'm going to allow you to kind of back out of this a little. You're still on the hook for something. Okay? You said Jordan Matthews would finish 14th wide receiver or better in a half point or half PPR. The loser has to do 6 shots of either all clear or all dark liquor.
Ooh. Okay.
This is what you proposed this bet.
I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said he would finish 14th or above.
Okay.
So here's what I am saying.
Okay.
I'm going to bump it down. And I'm going to say that he will, let's change it from 14th or above to 18th or above.
Okay. I'm all right with that.
Hold on. No, that's not it. And so let's knock it down to 18th. So I'm going to give you 4 free ones. And
okay.
I'm going to say let's change it. If I lose, I do 3 shots. If you lose, you do 4 shots because I'm changing the terms in your favor.
Okay.
You're okay with this?
I'm okay with this.
You're going to lose this bet. You do understand that, right?
And I'm taking the mercy that you're giving me because this Smirnoff is just talking to me in the right way. It's in my ear saying, tone it down, Charles. 14 for Jordan Matthews. Now thinking about it. Wait, doesn't Edelman have a suspension, though?
He does. 4-game suspension. And that's the manliest drink I have ever seen of a raspberry Smirnoff Ice. You took it like a champ, brother. Oh, I got to start another timer.
Dang it.
Oh, you're good. You got 10 minutes from now, man. Okay, so Charles will do 4 shots. John, 3 shots.
This is so bad.
Yeah. And I like Jordan Matthews. I really do like him this year. I'm getting him in a lot of best ball leagues that I'm doing now. But he is not a guy that I think will finish. He's a flex play. At best.
Okay, but well, here's the thing. I'll go ahead and make a rebuttal to that. Give you an upside. So Edelman's out, right, for 4 games. Amendola's gone to the Miami, correct?
Yep.
I know, believe me, I know that the Patriots wide receiving core looks like a bullpen right now. Just like has like just tons of guys. But sure. I don't feel like Brady's ever actually had a receiver quite like Jordan Matthews before. Because he really no, not in the slot, because he really is a slot receiver, just a really different kind of slot receiver. One that I think that Brady will take advantage of. And here's the deal. Who else can maximize a guy better than TB12? And I'll tell you that. I have a lot of. Do I hate him? I hate him. Do I respect him? I respect him like crazy, because he takes guys who otherwise are not that great or were pretty good, and then he makes them elite. And so I think that if Jordan Matthews can get himself into the starting rotation, I just think that all the dinking and dunking that Brady does, that Jordan Matthews can easily see himself. Quite a few targets. He's a great red zone threat. So again, he's got some upside for me. I think his upside is up into the top 12 somewhere if he becomes a favorite target of Brady. But like you're saying, the reality of that with injuries and those things, probably not likely. But I do like him within 18 because I think that Jordan Matthews will catch on. He doesn't drop balls. I mean, and that is going to be something that's going to benefit him working in underneath Belichick.
Yeah.
So go ahead. Yeah.
And that was another one of my huge draft crushes. If you go back to his days at Vanderbilt. I love his hands, I love his speed, love his size. Jerry Rice's cousin. He just hasn't really caught on at both of his spots. But he hasn't played with anybody like Tom Brady.
Well, they played him on the outside when he was in Buffalo. I mean,
hated that too.
That's not where he goes.
That was stupid. That was so stupid. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's his best situation he's had yet. And worst case scenario, I think he finishes kind of in that wide receiver 30 to 36 range. Like, he's a great flex play, especially the first 4 weeks. Like, right now, as far as like daily fantasy, he's probably one of those players that I'm going to get super cheap on my DFS lineup, or a few of my lineups, not all of them, for week 1, just because nobody knows who's going to be the guy outside of Gronkowski in New England. So that's where we're at. So those are all of the bets that we have made thus far. The 10 that we did in 2017, the one that we've done so far in 2018. And Charles has a bet in mind.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's kind of baiting me into this because he already told me it has to do with the 49ers. But yeah, man. So go ahead and lay out your terms, my friend.
All right. So as we all know, listen, you guys, whoever's still here.
He's already starting to fade off.
Smirnoff Ice. Okay, so you watch ESPN enough, you hear 2 names constantly right now. Jimmy G and Patrick Mahomes. Oh, Patrick Mahomes and ex-Brett Favre. All right, come on now. And Jimmy G, you got Jalen Ramsey calling him out on scheme stuff. And it kind of does make you, wonder for a bit. Do I believe that? I don't. I think Jimmy G is a good quarterback. But Kyle Shanahan being the master that he is, it makes you wonder a little bit. So here's the deal. One of these 2 guys in my mind is going to fall off that hype train at some point. And I got an idea of who I think it is.
All right. You better be careful, man.
I think it's Jimmy G.
The best ever.
I think it's Jimmy G. And here's why. First of all, he doesn't have the weapons that Patrick Mahomes is going to have. So if you just really quick, this is a Jimmy G versus Patrick Mahomes bet, and I'm taking P. Holmes. Okay,
straight up, like
straight
fantasy
up
points.
No. I'm taking it actually on a really weird thing here. You like that? Yeah. I'm going to take interceptions, and here's why. Do you know who's thrown the most interceptions in training camp so far?
Is it Jimmy G?
It's Jimmy G. It's Jimmy G.
That's how good the Niners defense is.
Yep. I think they showed like Tom Brady on 7-7s and 11-11s, like threw like a total of like 3 interceptions. I believe, and I could be wrong here, that Jimmy G has thrown between, I think it was 17. Pretty sure. He threw like a ton of interceptions.
He averaged an interception a game. He threw 5 interceptions in his 5 starts with the 49ers.
Yeah. So I'm saying that I think that Jimmy G finishes the season with more interceptions than Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes, P. Holmes, he takes risks just like Jimmy G does. So that I feel that this is a fair bet. Now, what we bet here, that's a different thing altogether.
Well, so real quick, as you continue to drink your raspberry liqueur, you have 3.5 minutes, so you got plenty of time to get through that one. You're doing great, man. I'm so proud of you.
Not me.
It's like a little kid taking like their cough syrup.
Honestly, that's basically a really great way to put it. It's going to make me throw up, for sure. I'm not even halfway through, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to vomit tonight. Yep.
Yeah, I feel like anytime you predetermine I'm going to throw up, it's going to be a great night.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like, weirdly, though, you got to be wearing high heels whenever you drink this drink, and I'm not.
You want to go slip into some upstairs real quick, man?
I go slip into something comfortable, come right down, finish these Smirnoff Ices up in front of you guys.
All right, so I don't know what you're willing to bet on this, but I want you to think about it, because just so you know, as of right now,
okay,
it's only been a few games. He's had 8 career starts, but he is 8-0, Jimmy G. He has thrown for 67.2% completion percentage, the best of all time. He completed 62% of passes when under pressure, the best since 2014.
All this blood is rushing into John's penis right now as he's reciting these stats. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this. I am currently working on a breakdown of Jimmy G, video and audio analysis and coaching film. So this is what I've been working on all day. So it's all right there.
He just went 6 to midnight.
It's there. I'll probably do it tonight, to be honest with you. But,
I'm going to break down video. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, babe. I got stuff to do. He is the only quarterback to finish with 3 straight 20 fantasy points in last year. The only one. And his 4th game right before that, he finished with 19.7. So no other quarterback had more than 2. He did it almost 4 times. I will take this bet, and I don't even know what your terms are, my friend. So,
honestly, if you guys want to go and get the video breakdown of John Chapman breaking down Jimmy G, all you need to do is go to Pornhub. And I don't know why, he just uploads his shit there.
You won't make it through more than 2 minutes, I promise you.
Oh, it's like those challenge videos. Anyways.
Oh, man, dude, you better be careful. So, Charles, what are your terms of this bet? You're saying that Jimmy G will throw more interceptions than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you got me making bets after 2.5 bottles of Smirnoff.
You're the one that proposed this, not me. Now, I'm going to speak against myself.
I'm ready.
The 49ers throw more passes than anybody in the NFL. The Chiefs were way down on the list. So I think that's huge, and I think there's a decent shot that Patrick Mahomes doesn't finish the entire season. One, just because of how mobile and the hits that he's going to have to take, and 2, man, we don't know. Everybody thinks he's great, but he's played 1 game. So
yeah. Imagine that, somebody with a small sample size, people hyping up. Anyways, here's what I propose. You remember how, like, in college at
weird intro
that people used to do, like, one night never mind. That people used to do, like, one night, like, as a homeless person.
What?
Remember people used to go stand on the street?
Oh, you're talking about... So, Charles and I went to a religious school. Timer just ended, by the way, as you're mocking homeless people. So, we went to a private religious college, which is hilarious. And we did a night of kind of, it is through like World Vision or some kind of like charitable donation where like you live like you're homeless to kind of understand what they go through, and you like pay money to do this so that it goes to helping people. So I believe that's what you're referencing.
Maybe, I guess.
Okay, so carry on with what your terms are.
I think you should sleep outside of your house. Let's camp. Let's camp, bro.
So the loser has to camp outside of your house.
Yep.
I live in my backyard in Pasadena, California.
I don't care.
You live in Yosemite.
I live in a suburb of Chicago.
There you go. So we're really doing this. You have to sleep outside.
Yeah, you got to sleep in a tent outside. Shouldn't be hard for you. You live in California.
It is nice weather all the time, but I will not be alone because there is a plethora of... We live very close to a homeless shelter, and we do a lot of work with them. But, yeah, there's lots of people that sleep outside here, so I'm down. So sleep outside.
Don't test me when I've had 3 Smirnoffs, because you'll end up sleeping outside.
Did you think of this bet before you started drinking?
Nope, I did not.
Okay, so can we do a tent?
Yeah, you gotta be in it. You have to be in a tent.
Oh my gosh.
It's a non-negotiable.
All right, it's in, man. So I am saving it. Oh my god, Charles, this is too hardcore, man.
Dude, and like you gotta get like a sign that says Jimmy G. I don't know. No, I got it.
So like you have to hold a sign that says Jimmy G put me here, or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, with a sign. I'm typing this. Once it's typed in, it's good, man.
Yeah, I know.
How you feeling, brother? Let's do a quick report. Checking in with Charles. Smirnoff Live. Go.
I'm on my fourth Smirnoff here today.
Gosh, whoever
And
has... There's like 5 people that have said that line in their entire life.
Man, the problem is right now is that I have so many things I want to say, and I just have to keep cutting myself back, editing. Nothing. I can't. Believe me. The comment that was coming was awful. Okay.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Again, a reminder to our audience: Charles does not drink alcohol often, so he is.
This says premium malt beverage. Okay, premium, really premium.
Well,
just
we do say that this is a premium podcast, so who are we to say?
Well, it is. With natural flavors and certified colors. How they certified this color? What does that even mean?
It's terrible, man. So, as Charles keeps doing what he is doing, we are going to shift our focus to Dynasty, and we're going to talk a couple Dynasty trades, okay? So basically what we're going to do here, Charles, I want you to give me a player that you are really high on for the long term, and we're going to go through some actual trades that have been processed through my fantasy league. Again, this is Dynasty, so even if you're not a guy that plays Dynasty or a girl, since we're sponsored by Smirnoff Ice, just
raspberry.
That's right. This is just long-term potential. It still implies to this year, but this is looking for more than just 1 year, a redraft league. So, Charles, who is a player that you're really high on and kind of targeting in a lot of your drafts before we get started here?
Oh, okay. Now, there are potentially people from my league who are going to be. And by the way, I am in a brand new league. Super excited. Thanks for the invite. If people are even around still, and I am number 4 in a complete startup, not rookie. So I get to draft all over again. So I get one of those guys.
Yeah. Because
in my mind, there's around 4 guys who you want to do that around.
So who are your 4 guys that you're kind of targeting there?
I mean, if Todd
Gurley... This
is
Dynasty, right?
So... Yeah, I mean, Todd Gurley's not going to follow me at 4. I mean, he's sort of Zeke.
Zeke might.
Zeke could. David Johnson,
maybe. If he does, I'd take him. He's my number 1 overall. If I'm going running back, he's my number 1 overall running back.
So that's who I was going to say, though.
Oh,
so
David Johnson. Let's look it up. Let's see what we got. How many teams do you have? 12?
12 teams.
1 quarterback, or is it super flex?
It's two QBs.
Say that again?
Two quarterbacks.
Oh, so this is perfect. So basically what his league is Dynasty, so you get to keep your team every year, but it's 2 QBs, which means instead of the traditional kind of 1, you just start 1 quarterback, you start 2, which adds in so much more value to the quarterback position and basically makes the quarterbacks as valuable in fantasy as the running backs are. So let's go through some of these trades, and I'm going to see some of them will involve quarterbacks, some will not. This one is David Johnson, straight up for 3 separate players, okay? You get Amari Cooper, Jerick McKinnon, and a 2019 second rounder. So basically you're getting 3 starters for David Johnson.
Are you, though? You think that second round pick is going to be a starter?
Eventually, I think you have to plan. I value, obviously first round picks are everything, but I value first, second, and third rounders. After third round, I really don't care. But I fight to get first, second, and third rounders for the future at all times.
So here's how I feel about it. Again, I'm new at Dynasty, so I've never even played a Dynasty League. This is my first year, although I've watched I've listened to John talk to me about it for a while.
Once you go Dynasty, it's hard to go back.
Yeah, and I'm already finding that. I took over somebody else's team in one of John's leagues, and that kind of sucked, but then it was kind of awesome because I've been able to flip my roster around, but I had crap to work with. I don't know, man. I'm still going to stick with David Johnson here. because I believe that you are trying to find unicorns and you don't let unicorns go once you get them on your roster, especially if they're young. Now, if they're older, like Adrian Peterson in year 7 or 8, then yeah, I'm going to move on potentially from a guy who's even going to give me 3 years of good, solid production. But a guy, I mean, how old is David Johnson? He's been in the league
26.
26. Okay. So what's that mean? He's got 4 years of stud production.
He had a lot of work in college, Northern Iowa, which is awesome. But yeah, I mean, he's a beast. He's coming off an injury, but it's a wrist injury. Had nothing to do with running back status, whatever else. He's been working out the whole time. He's completely cleared, ready to go. I love David Johnson. I would also take David Johnson over Jerick McKinnon and Amari Cooper. The main reason why is I do not like Amari Cooper. If you switch that out with like A.J. Green, something like that, then I would probably do the other side because I do like Jerick McKinnon as well. All right, let's do another trade. Again, this is super flex, so 2 quarterbacks. Pick a side. Matt Ryan and Jay Ajayi or David Johnson. So you're getting a starting quarterback and Jay Ajayi, who has some upside. He is young. Or David Johnson.
Okay, so and that's tough because it's a 2 QB format, correct?
Yes.
So you're getting a really solid quarterback there who's going to give you really great production. Jay Ajayi, you're definitely taking a step back. It's his contract year, or his contract year. It'll be next year. I don't think he's going to be with the Eagles after this year. He wants too much money, and that's just not how Howie Roseman pays players. So you don't know where he's going to go. You could really just be honestly subbing out Matt Ryan for David Johnson. I do not trust Jay Ajayi. I just don't. So I'm going to stick with David Johnson.
And that's coming from an Eagles fan, folks.
Yeah. Corey Clement, Darren Sproles, and probably Matt Jones is going to be the 4th running back on that roster. They're not going to hesitate to part ways with him next year. They will not hesitate. There's too many guys that they love in the draft every year at the running back position. It's not what he values. So
good call. I love this drunken dynasty.
Yeah, drunken
analysis.
Dynasty. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dude, you still have 3 minutes left till you have to finish that. You're doing good.
Oh, my God. Yep.
So if you're listening to the podcast, we can see each other. And we put this up. We did a live broadcast. So if you are out there right now, you can see. This next one, this will be our last David Johnson trade. And this one's going to be hard to say no to. David Johnson for Leonard Fournette, Mitch Trubisky, and Deshaun Jackson.
I mean, I'm really high on Fournette, so I'm taking the Fournette side all day. You said Trubisky. I believe he's going to probably get there. Do I think he's going to be an elite quarterback in his lifetime? I don't. I think his ceiling is.
I agree.
His ceiling is like make the Pro Bowl one time in his career type of ceiling.
But in a super flex, having a young quarterback that's guaranteed a starter is worth so much. And then you put on that Leonard Fournette, who I love.
Me too.
He is my highest ranked running back after the big 4, Zeke, Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, and David Johnson. He's my 5th rated. I have him actually above the sensational rookie, who I actually like a lot. But I love Leonard Fournette. I'd take him over Barkley.
And, what people are not really paying attention to, and I think that you have to, is that the Jags upgraded their offensive line. They took one of the highest graded guys out of PFF from the Panthers. Yep. I believe his name is Norwell or something like that.
Norwell. Depends if you're German.
And you put him at the tackle position, and then they already had a kid out of Alabama who is really more of a run blocker than he is a pass protector, Cam Robinson.
Yeah, they got him at the top of the 2nd round in 2016 draft. Yeah, he's a stud.
That O-line is built to run the ball. It's even now that's just elevated even further. I think you could definitely project Fournette to have better numbers than he did even last year. And they also, too, I mean, remember those first 1, 2, 3 games? They were still seeing if Yeldon had a role in that offense, and the answer is kind of no. He's still a good running back, but man, in the clutch, you still want to pass the ball to Fournette out of the backfield. You still want to have him on the field.
People don't understand. Like, he had quite a few catches. He had 30 plus.
Yeah.
Let me see here. If I could learn how to spell Fournette correctly. Like, that's a thing. Like, he had 36 catches. Did I say 36 before I looked that up?
You said around 30, but yeah, I'll give you 36.
So, I mean, he had 36, and he caught the ball a lot out of the backfield in the playoffs as well. So, like, he has that upside there. I think he's – I think he has potential to be the number one running back next year. I really, really do. Uh-oh. Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
It means it's time to take my medicine.
That's right. That is right. Stop making noise, timer. What's wrong with you?
Ugh. We can edit that out later.
No, we're leaving it in there. That was a wonderful sound.
All right, I got to go get my last two.
And so that's the thing. Keep in mind, we're talking Dynasty 2QB League. So whether it's a super flex or 2QB, it doesn't really matter. You're going to try to start a quarterback every single time that you do this. The next player that we are going to talk about is we're going to shift over to the wide receiver position, and that's Davante Adams. I absolutely love Davante Adams, the wide receiver for the Packers. Now, the thing, there's some great and there's some bad. One, super young. He is just now 25, just signed a long-term extension, and Davante Adams is a guy, he's the only person in the entire NFL to have back-to-back seasons with 10-plus touchdowns or more. It's there for him. But having said that, in his 4 years in the NFL, he has never had 1,000 yards receiving. He had 997 one year, but he's never passed 1,000. But he is a guy I'm super high on. How do you feel, Charles, about Davante Adams?
I think he's a guy who knows how to take a concussion. And
gosh, those 2 hits were huge.
You know, the thing is, I thought he was done after the second one. I really did. And then didn't he like came back?
Yep.
Like the next week or something against Seattle or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a long week. So he got hit like on Thursday. It was a Thursday night game. I remember it. I had him on a couple of fantasy rosters. And he got a terrible concussion on Thursday night. And everybody thought, man, he's going to be out for a long time. But then he came back and played after that like 10-day layover.
Sorry, just drinking that in.
Oh, I need to start the next timer, don't I? And started. I love this, man. This is fun.
It's so fun. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how that wide receiving core shakes out. Packers are one of those organizations that's not afraid to double down on a position during the draft. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be cool to see who kind of comes out of that mix. But it's Davante Adams all day. Who's his number one target he's going to go to? Do I think, though, that Jimmy Graham is going to eat some of those numbers? Guess what? I do. Because when's the last time that Aaron Rodgers had a tight end of that receiving caliber in his career ever?
Jermichael Finley, man.
No.
Yeah, Jermichael Finley was a beast.
Not Jimmy Graham caliber. Okay? Jermichael Finley was a poor man's Jimmy Graham.
What?
Yeah, dude.
They are very, very different. Yeah, so Jermichael Finley's best year, he had 55 catches, 767 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Yeah, you're right. I give it to you.
So if Drew Brees can take a tight end like that and turn him into, you know, a guy who's probably finishing as a wide receiver 12 in terms of fantasy production, I think that Aaron Rodgers can probably do some similar things. Now, Russell Wilson is a god of a quarterback right now. At least that's how he played last year. But that system was never designed around him, and it's just not designed. It's really the most chaotic offense that there is. There's no rhyme or reason. just plays break down and Paul Richardson's pulling down a 50-yard bomb off of his helmet, and that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
But in an offensive scheme where Aaron Rodgers knows exactly where you're going to be, he's going to put a laser beam on your chest, and he's only going to put it in a place that you can catch it. Jimmy Graham's going to benefit with having a decent backfield with Jamal Williams and Aaron Jones. Those guys, Aaron Jones is a touchdown waiting to happen. So I think that this Green Bay team, or at least the offense, is going to be a juggernaut. I think Adams will have, I believe, a little bit less of a statistical year than he did last year because of Jimmy Graham, but still very high wide receiver production. Definitely I would say top 6.
Yeah, I have him ranked 5th. But my thing is, he put up 10 touchdowns with Brett Hundley as his quarterback. And if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, which every single time that he has played all 16 games, he threw 28 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns, 39, 38, 31, 40. So even if Jimmy Graham catches 15 touchdowns, there's still 20 touchdowns out there. And if Davante Adams can stay around that 10 touchdown mark and get over 1,000 yards at 25 years old, I'm fine with that. I love Davante Adams. I'm trying to get him everywhere I can. So let me propose this trade to you, my friend. Okay. Davante Adams, again, this is Dynasty 2 QB Superflex League. Davante Adams or Julio Jones in a 2019 third-round pick.
On one side is Davante Adams.
Yep.
And on the other side is Julio Jones and what?
And a third-round pick for the next year.
I'm taking Julio, man.
So would you take Julio over Davante Adams straight up in a dynasty league? 4 years older, and he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers, and he never scores touchdowns.
Yikes. Well, I guess this is it's weird that I'm bringing this up. Who's in your league? All right. Are you going to have guys who are suckers for Julio? Because that's a big name brand. That's like having Nike or Adidas. But Davante Adams, all right, he's like New Balance, and he's accomplishing the same things, right? Like it's the same quality shoe. But I don't know. It kind of depends on the value. Now, if you throw all those factors out, and like you said, dynasty, yeah. The only thing that scares me about Davante Adams is he's one concussion away from being Jordan Reed.
He's had 3 concussions in 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So, problem.
Bad ones.
So, yeah, I'm just thinking I'm probably going to stick with the Julio side because he hasn't had those, and I know that if I put Julio on the block, I'm going to get a crazy return. If I put Davante Adams on the block, people have got to be convinced about, that production is because of Aaron Rodgers, and when he goes to a different system. Wherever Julio's going, he's going to pull those numbers himself.
Yeah, the yards are going to be there. The catches are going to be there. I agree with you. I would take the Davante Adams side. I really would.
I know you would.
I'm pretty high on that kid. All right, now keep in mind, this is a super flex, so this one involves a quarterback, okay? So Davante Adams on one side by himself. Okay. On the other side, Drew Brees, the 1.11 rookie-only pick this year, and a 2019 first-rounder. So 2 first-round picks, even though they're super, super late, because, again, it's 1.11. So this is the team that lost the championship. And Drew Brees. So you're getting Drew Brees, an old quarterback. He's 38. The 1.11 this year, and a first-rounder next year for Davante Adams.
I think I'm going to take Davante Adams there.
I agree. I love getting quarterbacks and all that stuff. That's great. But it is not worth it whenever you are doing that.
Especially, again, that John prefaced that this is a super flex where there's an additional QB that can be had.
Yep. All right, here we go. Let's see what you think about this one.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why, if there is the super flex where they say, you can go running back, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, why would you go any other position besides QB?
So I lost a league last year. I picked up an orphan team, and it took me 2 years to get to the championship. I was the worst team. Got to the championship in 2 years, trade hustled, went crazy, and it's a super flex league, and I have no quarterbacks. I started Deshaun Kaiser was my second quarterback almost the entire year, and on his bye, I put in Duke Johnson as my super flex because I had no other quarterback to go with. It's one of those super flex where every single team has 4 quarterbacks, and like I had Andrew Luck who didn't play at all, and so it was just a mess. So it gives you a little bit more, I guess, opportunity to start other players. Yeah, did Duke Johnson score as much as most starting quarterbacks in the NFL? No, but it's a make do, so it's not a complete scratch. It just gives you a little bit more options and variety when setting your lineup. Cheers. How you feeling, brother?
I'm gonna throw up tonight.
You got 2.5 minutes left. Just keep in pace. You're doing great. I'm really proud of you.
Look at this.
Are those the last ones?
This is it.
Oh, you're doing great.
No, the stomach is really full right now. Okay. Feels like a lot's going on in there. Feels like the party's kind of jumping and moving on. But later tonight, we know that the lights are going to turn down and there's just going to be problems, okay? Those same people are going to start fist fighting each other and they're going to want out and they're going to just, any way possible that they can get out of that party, they're going to get out of that party.
It sounds like a night out drinking with John Chapman, almost like you've been through it before.
I have been through it before and I do not recommend it.
Whatever, dude. We always have fun, but it does end weird.
Yeah, I'm like anxious fun whenever I'm partying with John. It's like when I have fun, I'm like, yeah, but what does that entail? Are we going to be safe tonight?
Safe? That's not fun.
John, right. Is that a tornado off in the distance? No, you're good, man. It's fine. Keep driving.
Don't worry about it, man. Just keep driving. All right. So next fantasy trade with Davante Adams. Last one with him. Joe Mixon, Deshaun Jackson, and a 2019 first.
Hell no, dude. I'm keeping Davante Adams.
Really? Even over Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, pretty high running back, young.
All you said to me was suspension guys and a pick. You got to take that into consideration. I saw like this Instagram with Joe Mixon recently. And I'm just going to say, off of what I saw, it's a matter of time. Before he gets a suspension. Yeah, he's just out there living his life, and it kind of seems like he's kind of getting acclimated again. I mean, you don't do what he did, and it's by chance or by accident. This guy is a Ray Lewis Award winner.
Oh.
You like that?
Yes, I do so much.
Explain to what if there's anybody still around, what that is.
A Ray Lewis Award winner is a human piece of trash that has done terrible things to humanity. And so timer. I don't know if you hear that, but we got a timer. So Go ahead and knock that out. So, like, for instance, Jameis Winston, he is a 2-time Ray Lewis Award winner, right? He just got suspended for the Uber driver. He also had the instance when he was at Florida State and had the same teammates lie for him. That is a Ray Lewis Award winner. Joe Mixon, Ray Lewis Award winner. And so it's something that we try to give out to people. And also, probably the biggest reason why I've been blocked on Twitter by people is because I will call you out as a Ray Lewis Award winner whenever you're a human piece of trash. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if you, like... There should be an opposite, though, like the Malcolm Jenkins Award or
Torrey
Chris Long.
Smith. I'd say Torrey Smith, man. I love Torrey Smith as a human.
Yes, he is. He's a great guy.
Legit. Chris Long.
Oh, Chris Long. That's a Twitter follow right there. He's hilarious,
dude.
He
is.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and meet you in the middle. A guy who's been on the Niners and the Eagles. We'll go Torrey Smith Award winner, and that means that you're a great guy.
Yeah.
You're not a Ray Lewis Award winner.
I'll hit him up and see what he says. I think he will approve. We will get permission before we say that, which we did not get permission from Ray Lewis.
No.
He hid that in the dumpster with his jacket.
Right.
All right, Charles, are you ready for me to start the last timer? No, not yet. I'm going to give you a break.
Here we go. Got it. Look at this.
Oh, I have you minimized.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Oh, look at you. They're so cute.
I know, right? It's just like there needs to be like a little pair of heels right here. I don't know, man.
Are you tipsy at all?
Oh, man. For sure.
Strong to quite strong.
Strong and quite strong. And that's what's embarrassing about this. Like, honestly, this is like getting beat up by your aunt. I don't even know how to explain it. This is just so
That's
bad.
the second time she's been brought up tonight.
What'd she do to me?
But I'll say this. Smirnoff is not like a low alcohol. Does it say on there like 5.7? I think it's around like 5.3.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you.
It's going to say
4.5.
Oh, yeah. You undersold yourself.
Yeah, but still.
Let's see here. I am drinking Stone IPA.
Okay.
Which, hashtag Gronk, 6.9%.
What do you mean, hashtag Gronk?
69. He loves the number 69.
Cool. What football player doesn't? Male does not.
He just talks about it. That's all. All right. I want to move on now to a quarterback.
Okay.
And this is a quarterback close to your heart, Carson Wentz.
Oh, man.
And I want to see where your loyalties lie. Now, again,
Ooh.
super flex, you got to start 2 quarterbacks, dynasty. So he is young. Longevity is important. Who would you take? Carson Wentz by himself or Andy Dalton and T.Y. Hilton?
I'm Carson Wentz all day.
Man, T.Y., though, strong.
I know.
Dude.
Yeah, no, strong, quite strong. Hey, let me ask you this. How concerned are you about Carson Wentz coming back from his injury?
Not at all. Not after
Really?
I have watched all of the OTAs, and he's got a brace, but he's doing the lateral movements and pushing off just fine. And he still has, 2 months before game time. So he will start week 1. And I'll say the same for Deshaun Watson as well. Both of those guys are out there, and there's zero hesitation. And that's the thing. You don't want to ever see, coming off a leg injury, one of the worst things you can see is somebody favor that leg because that will lead to another injury. One of the clearest representations I can say of that was the salsa dancer out of the Giants. Dang, what's his name? I loved him. Victor Cruz.
Yeah.
He came out and he just didn't look right. And he never looked the same again because he had an injury, came back, then tore his other leg. And so that was the problem. So I love Wentz. I have no problem drafting him. Zero. Just zero.
Zero.
What about you, Eagles fan?
He has looked absolutely amazing in those videos that they've shown, but they're just, again, it's not with pressure. The other thing I'm worried about is that actually I went back, I rewatched that Rams game, and I'll say this, he was evolving before our eyes. He didn't look that good throughout the season. He was playing amazing. He was MVP, but that Rams game, he said, okay, I'll see your, dominant elite defense, and you know what I'll do? I'll just tear it up. And that's what he did for 4 quarters. He just said, there's nothing you can throw at me that I'm not going to beat. And it was just amazing to watch that game back and go back and realize how good that Rams defense was. Yeah. And he just obliterated them, man. No problem. But
it's like Jimmy G, almost like watching him.
Almost, right? But the thing is that Carson actually did that same exact dive probably, I'd say, 4 times, where he would dive and they would kind of catch him and his leg would just kind of go just a little bit like that. So it makes me hope that he's going to adjust and say diving forward's not going to work for me anymore. I'm going to do what Aaron Rodgers does, and I'm just going to do that badass slide, and I'm just going to look super cool doing it. And Russell Wilson, no more of this diving forward where these guys can catch their helmet to your knee. That's a problem. You can't dive like that in this league. There's just too many big guys. Doesn't matter how big and strong you are. You'll be out again.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if he is going to change his play. Because he doesn't have to do those things. He just doesn't have to.
Oh, shoot.
That good? Oh, the fantasy takes are going to be so strong.
You know what I'm ready for?
What?
Look at this. You see me?
Whoa, dude, you got 7 minutes.
Listen, you know what I'm ready to do?
I'm just going to... Are you sure about this? This is where you throw up on recorded video.
I'm ready to finish this bet.
It was so great beating you in the championship. That was great, but this might be better.
Why are you reminiscing right now?
Because it makes me feel good.
Live in this moment.
So Charles has about 33.3% repeating amount of Smirnoff Ice left in his very last drink. You're going to shotgun it?
Did I say that? Okay.
That's what I thought you were alluding to. I'm sorry.
That's what I was. Why is there a dash? Why is there a dash right here? Smirnoff dash ice. There's not even any ice in this thing. False advertisement. And then there's a dot right here.
This is drunk host Charles. Chuck B. At host Chuck B. Reading the label and getting in depth with Smirnoff Raspberry Ice.
I'm going to recycle these bottles and get 2 cents a piece. All right.
Let me ask you this. Back to fantasy real quick.
I'm going to shotgun this thing.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Here you go. Bottoms up, brother.
Smirnoff.
Cheers, brother. He finished it.
Oh, I feel like I came in last place.
Oh, I know. You got second and had to do that. Yeah, we got to. You need to take a picture of that, and we'll put it up on your Twitter.
Okay.
Not right now. Just leave it. We're good.
No, I'm doing it right now. What are you gonna say?
I was gonna ask you a fantasy football question.
Do it, man.
Don't take a picture of me. Take a picture of the bottles.
I'm not, man. It's behind me, bro.
In a dynasty superflex league, who would you rather have moving forward? Carson Wentz or Deshaun Watson? Just straight up.
I'm taking Carson Wentz, and here's the thing. The league has time to adjust to you. I think that Deshaun Watson is definitely a talent for the future. I'm really interested to see how he comes back. He's got a fantastic wide receiving core. He's got an okay, maybe not even okay, backfield, probably below average. But what he doesn't have is a good offensive line. The Eagles have top 3 offensive line in the league.
Well
they
said,
have what? Probably a top 10 wide receiving core. You throw in there too. Let me just throw this out at you too. What the Eagles do with tight ends 2 and 3 is more active and more a part of the offense than I think any offense in the league. And Dallas Goedert is going to be a name to know. He's not going to have fantasy relevance. That's just the truth. But he has the potential to definitely draw your attention just in terms of a fan. Because what are you going to do? Alshon, Sproles, Goddard, Ertz, and let's just say Nelson Aguilar. Who are you doubling down on? What are you going to do? And then all of a sudden, Sproles comes out of the backfield. This is a group that's going to elevate Carson. I do not believe that Deshaun Watson has a group that's going to elevate him on the offensive line. Now, D-Hop, different thing. And I'll say Deshaun Watson was saved on a number of times by DeAndre Hopkins, where his numbers don't really represent the accuracy or his cognitive ability to read the defense, because he threw some plain interceptions that D-Hop either knocked down or caught and just turned into a touchdown. So I don't believe that to be the same for Carson. So again, very interested to see Deshaun Watson 100% taking Carson Wentz. He is appropriately ranked number 3 in the top 100 this year. I thought that for me, that felt right at number 3.
Yeah, he's a beast. You can't lose with either one. I'm taking Watson just because the upside. We saw what he did in those 5 games. Oh, my gosh.
Right.
It doesn't even make sense. what this guy did.
Well, I think, too, the other guy that we're not maybe even bringing up is that we saw flashes of brilliance from Fuller. And to give this guy another camp, another opportunity, I think he's going to be a sick player in that offense.
Yeah. But, again, if you look back at what Deshaun Watson did in 5 straight games, 25 fantasy points, 37 fantasy points, 38 fantasy points, 26, 39. That's winning. You're winning those games because of your quarterback. Now, Carson Wentz, absolutely amazing. His best 5-game stretch, we can see it right here, 31, 24, 34, 20, 26. That's amazing. Like, neither one of these guys are bad, and they are my quarterbacks kind of 2 and number 3 overall in dynasty rankings. But I think this is going to draw us to a close, my friend.
Yeah, man. This was not my favorite.
Peed. You haven't peed.
You know what, man? Honestly, it's not gonna come up through pee. I just say I need some antacid.
Yeah.
I need some water. I need a friend, to talk to.
This is why God invented pizza rolls. I'm just telling you, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like something just carbs, just going to soak all this shit up. Look at that behind me. That's what's in my stomach.
That's a lot. That's a lot, brother.
Honestly, that's Plan B back there.
Jesus Christ. Charles, any more? Where can we find you on Twitter after that horrible comment and amazing comment? And any parting words?
First of all, you can make a bet in fantasy football. Don't include that back there. Do anything else besides Smirnoff Raspberry. Get a flavor that at least you can tolerate for a little while, because right now I'll never drink that again. I will never, ever drink that again. You know what? We didn't lose Smirnoff as a sponsor. You lost us. Okay? You're not our sponsor anymore. We're looking for a sponsor, by the way, for anybody watching.
All right. Where can they find you on Twitter, my friend?
At host Chuck B.
At host Chuck B. I am JL_Chapman, JL_CHAPMAN, and this has been Fantasy Viagra. This has been a blast. Take care. Peace, guys.
Peace.